be a short introduction showing you what we do in our Department of Languages, Literatures, and Cultures, both in the classroom setting and outside. And we should also add that we also have a global studio that is quite important in these activities of ours. The second part, and the longer one, is entirely devoted to our students because we're celebrating them. We're not celebrating ourselves, it's you that we're celebrating. Our honorees will each be presented by a mentor or a language section coordinator before honoring him or her through running of some slides. Then each one of the honorees will have about a minute and a half to talk about his or experience during the 4 years learning one of several foreign languages in our department. And then we will conclude the ceremony as usual, applauding our honorees. But we will proceed alphabetically by section and by last names, starting with the Arabic section and finishing with the Russian section. And again, thank you for being with our honorees, and thank you for being with us at this time. Congratulations to our 10 awardees. Thank you.
Okay, I guess I'll make the sound come back this way. So it is my pleasure to introduce Mike Laposata, who's been my student in Arabic and many other classes for the past 4 years. And I don't really know where to start kind of praising Mike. He has been one of my best Arabic students, in part because of his dedication to the language. He's kind of somebody of exemplary diligence when it comes to completing homework and stuff. And Mike, you know that there are not many who will, who can compare to that. But way beyond that, Mike has always been a student with a very keen interest in the culture that goes with Arabic language. You can't think language without the cultural connections it has. And for the Middle East, where Arabic is predominantly spoken, happens to be also the area where Mike has his special kind of historical heart set with a crusading history. And so he was not only in Arabic classes with me, but he also was in an SSIR class that covered the with the topic history of the Crusades, or Crusades and Holy Wars, then and now. And the idea was to kind of look at how the Crusades, the idea of the Crusades, kind of translates from the Middle Ages into modernity, and how the thought remains alive in both cultures. Mike has always been somebody who was not just good in what he does, but he really excelled in helping his peers excel as well. And I have like lots of examples that I could present there. Kind of the first story that comes to mind is that within the SSIR, he had to present the collection of coins in the Richmond Museum here, at the University of Richmond Museum, I'm sorry. Coins that kind of really specifically went to represent the crusading states and the countries around it. And his presentation was so lively that for me, it's still an example of how a good representation should be done. He worked kind of to talk about his pedagogical skills. He also worked as a drill instructor during this past year, and his students loved him, which also was kind of visible in the fact that every single one of them basically didn't miss a single drill session, while with other drill instructors, they tended to be a little bit less less determined to actually be there. And that has a lot to do with Mike's presence in class. For me, it was a pleasure to work with him. Here you see him on the left in Morocco, where he was for a summer study abroad program with me. On the right is in Romania, I believe this picture is, where we went for the SSIR trip. All right. Yeah. He's always in the thick of things. There's the Moroccan pictures. We'll go back in Romania. I don't know, I ended up having most of the pictures from Romania, I think, more than Bulgaria. This is Bulgaria, in Varna. Mike, do you want to comment?
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, a huge thank you to both Martin and Allah for 4 wonderful years of Arabic. I remember getting to UR and, you know, with a passion for Crusader history, and seeing that there was Arabic offerings, and deciding to just sort of throw my hat in the ring, and ended up really falling in love with the language, in large part due to Martin's first and second year program there. I loved going to Morocco with the Arabic language program. That was one of the highlights of my 4 years. And the SSIR, while not, you know, necessarily connected to Arabic language study, there was an LLC program, and I'll never forget both the trips and the class, but also the community that we all made on that program there. So really a huge thanks to Martin for keeping me interested in Arabic and always pushing me to do it. You've been one of my greatest friends and allies on this campus, and it's going to be a real shame to leave. And even though I was always chronically 5 minutes late to our drill meetings on those Tuesday mornings, I'll miss coming into your office and just chatting with you. So be sure to keep in touch. And thank you so much for honoring me with this award. It's been a real pleasure of mine to work alongside all of you.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Jessica Chan speaking. My internet is slow today, so you aren't able to see my face. I am going to introduce our graduating senior, Brian Carapucci. I am very happy to see your face here. Brian and I met actually in his second year. In his first year, I didn't really teach him, but he spent a summer at the China Studies Institute at Peking University. And he participated in an immersive Chinese language program. And right after that, he actually got into our third year language course. And we actually did an independent study in his sophomore year. So obviously, he achieved really superior language skill at an early point and did an independent study with me as a sophomore. I really see him as an intellectual. I've never told him, but I definitely envision him getting a PhD at some point. I think right now, Brian is really interested in working for the Department of State, diplomacy, international relations, things like that. It's a very dismal job market. And this spring, we chatted a lot about the coronavirus, what Chinese studies means to him. And this summer, I think he's really fortunate to be able to still intern for the Department of State. I think they're just going to mail a computer to him for security reasons. And other than Chinese language study, he studied abroad in both the PRC and Taiwan. He did a number of internships, I think. And he also won a number of awards, for example, the Freeman Foundation Scholarship, which supported his study abroad experience. And also he won the Critical Language Scholarship. And recently, he's also one of the US-China Fellows at a program at Georgetown University. So this picture shows that cohort. So he's a history double major, and the Chinese studies major definitely, I think, enriches his development as a thinker, as a very internationally engaged citizen. So I'll turn the floor to Brian if you want to say something.
Sure. Thank you so much, Dr. Chan. And I don't know. I'm honored to receive this award because I really Chinese has been such an integral part of my whole college career and my whole experience these past 4 years. And it's hard to believe that, joining Dr. Gao's class in the fall of my first year, how much I've grown and how much strides I've made with my language skills as well. So it's something that's, I've been able to go to China and Taiwan on various different opportunities, all with pretty generous funding 4 times, and it would have been 5 times this spring as well. And I've been able to do a number of really amazing opportunities and internships and conferences. And it purely wouldn't have been possible without the Chinese studies major. So I've very much appreciated how flexible it is and how much it's allowed me to really delve into my interests and my passions. Whether that's with my history double major, and I went to Taiwan to conduct research in Chinese using Chinese. That was what made my thesis sort of come into fruition, whether it was that or whether it was professional aspirations. So I'm eternally grateful. And I want to thank Dr. Chan and also Dr. Gao for all their help and support over the past 4 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So my name is Gensong Gao. I'm a Chinese teacher, and I'm going to present our Chinese programs awardee Aljoy Talos. So teaching Aljoy is one of my most rewarding teaching experience, and you are. Aljoy started learning Chinese from scratch, and you are, but he ended up achieving a linguistic proficiency higher than most other students who have learned Chinese for several years in high school. Aljoy took 5 Chinese language, literature, and culture courses with me. And he may have got sick of me, but I have never got sick of teaching him. And I feel so fortunate to have such a self-progressed and self-disciplined student in my course. So right now, Aljoy and I are friends on the Chinese social media app WeChat. And I read very carefully every post that Aljoy made. And I didn't find any grammatical mistakes. Okay, Aljoy, good job. You are the pride of our Chinese program. Congratulations on your graduation with our LLC award. So this is Aljoy in Paris, in Peking University, where he studied abroad.
And Aljoy really brings diversity to our program because he also talks about his experience in Indonesia, and he's also very engaged with the Office of International Education.
Mm-hmm. So Aljoy, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I guess first of all, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to rewarding me with this LLC award. I would definitely like to thank you, the Chinese department and the LLC department. Like Brian said, I think learning Chinese has been one of the biggest part of my college career that I will never forget and will definitely use in the future, in my future career and my future life as well. I think I came to college not being really sure if what kind of language I want to pursue, but I was sure that I would like to be in the field of international studies, and taking Chinese was actually a pretty scary decision for me to make. But I think when it comes to learning a language, professors really break or make it. And I think that both Professor Gao and Professor Chan are both kind of really inspiring teachers that helped me to really try my best to continue in learning Chinese. As you guys can see from my presentations, I kind of went to a lot of places just because of my interest in international relations. And the LLC department and the Chinese department gave me the opportunity of both learning the language and also exploring the culture. And that's, I think, something that is necessary if a student really wants to immerse in a new place to learn both the language and the culture. And I definitely learned a lot from it. And thank you guys so much again for having me today.
I am Françoise Rapeau-Kirkpatrick, and I am the French language coordinator, and I am very honored here to present our 3 awardees in French. And my task right now will be to present the first one, Jack Chuxo. Jack has completed 2 majors in French and biochemistry and molecular biology. He excelled in both disciplines, disclosing the thoroughness and rigor of a scientific mind, as well as the sensitivity and creativity of a humanities major with strong interest in languages, literatures, and cultures. Jack pursued an honors program in French and completed a thesis on US and Swiss medical school systems. It was a comparison between the two systems. But at the same time, he has engaged in research in biochemistry and molecular biology and presented his results at diverse conferences. Combining his two interests, he spent a semester abroad at the University of Lausanne in the spring of 2019, during which he took advanced courses toward his 2 degrees, biochemistry and French major. Jack also has been an assistant teacher for first and second year intensive French for 4 semesters, and he was recognized as the best French assistant teacher for his dependability, engagement, and excellence. Whether it be in French 300 or 400 level courses, his professors describe Jack as their top student, among the most brilliant students they have ever had in French and in other courses. I personally had the privilege to have Jack in 2 of my classes, as well as an assistant teacher for my 200 class, and to be a second reader of his honors thesis in French. He's a very bright, serious, and hardworking student indeed, open-minded, interested in various subjects, and is always ready to meet new challenges. Last but not least, Jack has been admitted to multiple medical schools, and he has chosen to attend the Renaissance School of Medicine at Stony Brook University in New York. I saw before, when we started, I saw that Mr. Jack Shetzo was present in the audience, and I wanted also to congratulate you, Mr. Shetzo, for your son, Jack. Congratulations, Jack. And now Professor Radi has something else to add.
I was muted, I'm sorry. So first of all, I wholeheartedly agree with everything that my colleague Françoise Ravoux-Kirkpatrick just said. As for me, I believe I have lost count of the many classes and research projects Jack has undertaken with me, but I have not forgotten the rarity of Jack's level of enthusiasm and commitment to intellectual inquiry, as well as his ethical integrity. Academic excellence is not the only characteristic of Jack Shetzo. He thrives in university, as well as community service. Since he arrived at the University of Richmond, he has been meaningfully involved in on-campus leadership positions that aim to foster an environment of intellectual curiosity outside the classroom. He has been a very successful teaching assistant for our French language courses, an enthusiastic and very well-prepared student ambassador in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions, and a beloved orientation advisor in the Office of International Education. In addition to this award, Jack is also the recipient of the very prestigious Gray Award within the School of Arts and Sciences, and he's a nominee for the Mace Award, the highest award conferred by the University of Richmond. So Jack, my heartfelt congratulations to you and to your family. And now the stage is all yours.
You guys. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everything that the LLC has done for me, and especially all of the professors in the French department. One of the things that I've loved about going to the University of Richmond has been able to combine my majors in biochem and French. I've always said that those science courses that I've taken have allowed me to prepare for going to medical school, but the French courses that I've taken have really taught me how to become a compassionate, caring physician in the future. And I'd specifically like to thank Professors Ravoux-Kirkpatrick, Professor Roddy, Professor Baker, and Professor Delers for letting me sit in on their classes and teaching me just amazing life lessons. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you all.
We appreciate you.
Congratulations. Well, and now I think we'll go with our next awardee in French, Charlotte Bednarski. Charlotte is graduating with a double major in global studies and French. She is a university scholar and an Oliver Hill scholar, a member of both Phi Beta Kappa and Phi Sigma Iota. Charlotte took 2 courses with me, and what struck me most about Charlotte is her impeccable work ethic, her thoughtful attention to detail, and her strong intellectual commitment to refining her linguistic skills in order to gain a more nuanced understanding of French and Francophone culture, history, and literature. Charlotte has conducted study and research trips in 3 continents. In the summer 2017, she studied at La Rochelle in France with my colleague Olivier Deders. In the fall 2018, she spent 1 semester in Senegal, and in the summer 2019, she conducted a university research trip in Thailand and Cambodia. She's currently interning at the International Center for Religion and Diplomacy in Washington, D.C. And this fall, she will enroll in a master's program in African Studies at Yale University. In the future, Charlotte aims to work on foreign policy research related to humanitarian development in sub-Saharan Africa. And now I know my colleague Julie Baker would like also to say a few words about Charlotte.
Yeah, hi everybody. I had Charlotte early in her career in French 301 in conversation through cinema, and then later in her career in French 415, which was a pretty difficult course. It was a course I team taught with my colleague Olivier Delers, and we taught advanced grammar, advanced grammar in French, and translation. And we actually had a guest speaker who had done his own translation come visit our class at University of Richmond. And he had translated the writings of a French forensic scientist into English. And he gave all of the students the manuscript in French so they could also translate what he had done in English. And then they were able to compare their versions with his own. And he actually gifted a signed copy of his book to the best translator of the class. And indeed, that was Charlotte. And so that just goes to show professors outside of our circle in the University of Richmond recognize Charlotte for her scholarship as well. I do want to also say thank you to Charlotte for finally deciding to become a teaching assistant in French. I tried for years to get you to do it. And although I wasn't able to work with you directly, I did observe you as your supervisor. And not only did you perform your teaching well, but one thing I noticed about you was that you had empathy. Language learning can be very frightening, and your empathy and kindness towards your students help them to improve upon their journey and grow just as you had on your own. And so congratulations to you, Charlotte. Congratulations, Jack and Alex, from me as well. I know you both well, but congratulations, Charlotte, for such excellence in French and beyond.
So I'd like to say thank you to the professors who nominated me and spoke on my behalf today, and thank you to the entire French department. The course of Grammar and Translation 415 must have been one of my favorite courses I took at U of R. I have never been as challenged in my life as in that course, and I've never forgotten it, and it helped improve my French. I think that a common language and taking a language at UR is one of the most powerful tools of a liberal arts education, because nothing expands your worldview and your perspectives more than getting to meet people and converse with them in a language other than your own. Some of my best memories from my undergrad experience took place in French, Wolof, and Serer, and French is only one of those languages that I actually speak. So it was interesting to say the least. French has given me friends and family. I still keep in contact with both of my host families, speak to them regularly, and I'm always in contact. So the French department has given me more than just insight into language and literature, but has been such an enriching and meaningful experience. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
So I'll take over now, and I'm delighted to present the LLC Outstanding Major Award to Alex Konert. About a year ago, Alex came to my office and told me, and I quote here, "I'm doing the French Honors Program, and just to let you know, you will be directing my thesis." So I really didn't have a choice, but I also knew that Alex was going to produce great research, and she did. Her project on French politics under the presidency of Emmanuel Macron was theoretically astute and showed great mastery of complex political ideologies. The second reader for her thesis, Professor Kaponga, told me that her essay should be considered a model for future honor students. But in many ways, truly outstanding students are not just academically smart. They're also fun and engaging. When I think of Alex, two things come to mind. First, a long odyssey to retrieve a stolen iPhone that ended up in the French countryside and with a few leg scratches. And both Alex and Charlotte know what I'm talking about. And then I think of a trivia night in an Irish pub in La Rochelle with Jenny, Catherine, Charlotte was there too, and others from a great group of students. So Alex, it's been a pleasure to have you as both an outstanding and a fun student, and to have been on your journey with French in the past 4 years. Congratulations and all best wishes for the future.
So I just want to thank Olivier for that, and also the whole French department. I really think my thoughts pretty much parallel what both Jack and Charlotte said, in the fact that the French department really is a very welcoming community. And I would consider, over my 4 years at college, I've very much been a B school girl. Kind of always lived there. It's been my thing. But I've always found some sort of comfort in being in the French department. And I know it's always been for me a class that I've taken just for fun and never as a chore, something I had to do. So I really owe a lot to the professors and just the environment as a whole for really making my college experience that much better. So thank you.
Congratulations. Well.
Hi, everyone. I'm Catherine Bauer. I'm the professor of German Studies and coordinator of the German Studies program. And I'm delighted to present the award for the outstanding senior major in German Studies to Lisa Pizzigani. Lisa, I actually met virtually before she even came to the University of Richmond. I was her summer advisor. As I was going back through the timeline, I realized, wow, I actually knew her before she even came to campus. And ever since then, that initial meeting was extremely pleasant. She made a wonderful first impression, and it hasn't stopped since then. She started with German, elementary German, her first year, even though she came with some previous knowledge because she's a heritage speaker. And she leapt forward through the program by going to Berlin in the summer of between her freshman and sophomore years, and then became actually the best, and I'm quoting my colleague Caroline Wiest, the best teaching assistant for elementary German that Caroline has ever had, more professional than some adults that she's witnessed serving in that role. So kudos to Lisa in that role. She then continued through the program, making wonderful impressions everywhere she went. She's an extremely reliable, very precise, very attentive, very kind and caring student with a high level of intelligence and efficiency. So in fact, Lisa has finished her studies. She finished at the end of the fall 2019 semester with true German or Swiss efficiency, and is already employed and has, as a double major in business and German, has a position with Deloitte, and is hoping that that will turn into some kind of an international connection later on in her relationship with the company. One other thing I wanted to mention, because you did see earlier on in the slideshow some images from German through Theater, the course. Caroline also wanted to share that Lisa directed a scene. It's probably one of the most difficult scenes that Caroline has seen in her 8 years of teaching that theater course, and it went beautifully. So not only is she great at managing teaching assistants, but she's also great at directing. Up there it is. I'm not sure which scene it was, but one of those scenes she directed that was very difficult, and it went off extremely well. So please join me in congratulating Lisa for all of her achievements. She's just been a wonderful addition to our program.
Hey, Lisa.
And now if Lisa, I don't know if you had time to prepare, but if you would like to share any comments.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Bauer, for your kind words. And thank you also to Dr. Wiest and Dr. Newsack for all your support. All three of you have been such great mentors and professors throughout my college experience, and my experience with the German department and LLC department has just really shaped my Richmond experience in general. I mean, through my experience in Berlin and the various thought-provoking courses I took, I learned so much from the German department and all my classes, and it really allowed me to get back in touch with my German-speaking roots, which I really appreciate, and I will always treasure all the interesting discussions and the time I had being a drill instructor, and look forward to keeping in touch in the future and hopefully being able to use my German knowledge to have an international working experience. So vielen Dank, and I miss you all. Yay!
Bravo, bravo.
So, ciao a tutti. My name is Anthony Russell, and I'm the coordinator of our Italian Studies program. And I first want to convey a deeply felt thank you to all our Italian students, whose calore, warmth, intelligenza, intelligence, entusiasmo, enthusiasm, curiosità, curiosity, spirito, sense of humor, and impegno, commitment, have helped to transform our little community into a real familia, family. It's a privilege for me to be a part of it. And in this context, I'd also like to express my deep gratitude to Drs. Radi, Marcin, and Valsecchi for their remarkably generous and tireless dedication to the vitality of our program. Students, I think, choose to join it not just because they love Italian, but because they love these particular Italians who embody so much of what is most appealing and inspiring about our rich culture and legacy, and its legacy. This year, our section unanimously decided to grant its Italian Studies Award to Rosemary Ferraro, whom I had the pleasure of teaching this past semester. And a great final paper, by the way, Maria Rosa. Dr. Radi, who was her thesis advisor this past year, will briefly describe for us Rosemary's many accomplishments. Dr. Radi.
So Rosemary Ferraro is graduating with a double major in Italian studies with honors and global studies, and a minor in anthropology. She has been my student and advisee for the past 4 years, since that August week when, as an undeclared advisee, she arrived at the University of Richmond and she declared in my office that she had no intention of studying Italian, let alone majoring with honors. And well, here we are today. So Rosemary has been one of the most brilliant students in our program. Her dedication and commitment to Italian studies have made her a great role model for our younger students. Her research on transnational literature and her translation of Italian-Albanian writer Anilda Ibrahimi has been widely praised. She presented her work at the VCU Undergraduate Symposium in the fall 2019 and competed for the university's paper competition, prompting 2 of our colleagues sitting in the undergraduate research committee to define her work as, and I'm quoting here, a beautiful and extremely sophisticated paper with relevance that extends well beyond the Italian context. Rosemary was defined as a very talented and hardworking writer and researcher. Well, it is no surprise then that Rosemary won the Writing Consultant of the Year award. In addition to her remarkable research and writing skills, Rosemary has successfully led our Italian Language and Culture Club, and she has been a thoughtful drill instructor for our language courses. Rosemary was accepted in the Peace Corps program, as well as in the master's programs at the University of California, San Francisco, Johns Hopkins, the Bologna campus, American University, to pursue international affairs and U.S. foreign policy and international security. We congratulate Rosemary wholeheartedly and wish her the best of luck as she moves forward in her career. Rosemary?
Thank you, Dr. Russell, Dr. Rade. Grazie mille. Yeah, so I don't even know where to begin. I feel like I didn't really prepare something because in true Italian style, I wanted to speak from the heart. And like you said, I remember starting Richmond and I had tested out of the COM2 requirement and I got put into Gabriella's 305 class. And I just planned on taking that to fulfill the 300 level language for my global studies major. But I mean, what to say about Gabriella? Like, she's just a complete mom who just nurtures you and encourages you. And she really instilled in me that confidence that I could succeed in this language, in this major, which really just kind of catapulted me into wanting to continue. And that level of care and support that I found in her class continued in all of your classes. And you guys have really become a family to me. You constantly push me to do better. You always make me want to do better. You want to make me improve in my language skills. Dr. Russell, you make me want to improve in my analysis as a student, not just as an Italian student. And honestly, without having been in Italian, the vast majority of my success at Richmond would not have been possible, because it was through La Familia that I felt that confidence that I could succeed, not just in Italian, but as a student at a very low-ranked school. And between the presentations, the conferences, the analyses, the research fellowship, the honors research that formed the basis of my global studies research, Italian has been that rock upon which I built basically the rest of my college experience. So when I look back at Richmond now as someone who's graduating, what comes to mind first is the Italian department and how that formed and shaped my identity as a Richmond student, but also who I'm becoming and who I am now. And for that, I am eternally grateful.
Brava, Rosemary.
Thank you.
Grazie.
Sorry, am I unmuted?
Yep.
I think so. Okay, I'm sorry. This is Yvonne Howell, and we are George and Rubel. We are, as we told you before, last but not least. These are just a few comments for our two awardees and perhaps all of the graduates and their parents, if you're all still there. I wanted to say there's one thing we've all noticed about the quality of pandemic time, which is that this time seems undifferentiated. Nothing is marking our time. Is it 11 o'clock or 3 o'clock, Wednesday or Saturday? Who knows? Who cares? Time seems to be going in a strange way. We've all noticed. But the reason we are all here now is that this is a moment that has to be marked. Time is going to stop and stretch out for 1 minute, which is exactly how long I'm going to talk, to celebrate your 4 years of striving, hard work, and accomplishment. So George and Rubel, what were you doing exactly between 2:30 and 3:30 on this Friday? You were getting an award for outstanding major in languages, literatures, and cultures, and specifically, of course, for your Russian studies major. You guys went from no Russian when you first came to вы сейчас так хорошо говорите и понимаете. И это вам принесет большое счастье в жизни, потому что второй язык, вторая душа. Knowing a second language is like having a second soul, as we say. So it has been an outrageous, and with you two I do mean outrageous, pleasure to mentor you through all things Russian. You know what, Natasha, and I think of you. Молодцы, молодцы, and congratulations.
I just want to say thank you to Dr. Howell and Dr. McCauley for giving me the chance to have such an award. I really didn't expect it. I joined the Russian department as a sophomore, whereas a lot of other students started as a freshman, but I started my Com 2 requirement as a sophomore, sort of on a whim, because one, I wanted to read some Instagram posts in Russian that I couldn't read otherwise. And then also a friend was like, you won't take Russian? And I was like, all right, deal, I'll take it. So I jumped in, and honestly, if you asked me as a sophomore if I would end up finishing majoring in Russian and let alone being like having the chance to have an award like this, I would have said no. But it's really been a huge honor for me, and really probably been my most fun class. I really started this and really just to learn more about my own like outside of educational passion, which is weightlifting. And it really just transformed not only my educational experience and the opportunities I've had, but who I am as a person. I recently saw this video or read a news article, and it was titled "The Power of a Bilingual Brain." And now I have the chance to have a trilingual brain and speak 3 different languages. So it's been a real honor for me. Thank you, guys.
Oh gosh. Thank you so much, first of all, to Dr. Howell and to Dr. McCauley. Our time together across the 4 years that I've been learning Russian in university have without a doubt been my absolute favorite. I think that as of right now, you know, with this whole quarantine thing, time is immaterial, but my love for the Russian language, for the Russian department at University of Richmond is so real and so physical and so all-encompassing. I think that the department has done such an excellent job of encouraging its students to be confident in themselves in every aspect of their education. And I think that I would not be alone in saying that learning Russian here at UR has really helped me to grow in literally every single aspect of my life. And I won't drone on for too long, but Lord knows I could give this department the accolades it deserves, but it's a big honor. I'm so grateful. Ogromne vam spasiba. Thank you so much.
Slavic Club rules.
Yes, I think we're coming to the end of our ceremony. Before we close, I would like, first of all, to thank all the honorees for having won these awards. And also, before we go, I would like to thank all the families that have been involved in the education of these students. Thank you to all the friends who came and then tune in at this time of confinement. I would like also to take this opportunity to thank all my colleagues, all the 25 or so, for all of the work they've been doing. And special mention to Michael Marsh Soloway for putting all this thing together. I don't think we would have been able to do anything without his technical knowledge and also his advice. Thank you also to June Wise, who's been everywhere trying to put this and this program together. And I would like to finish just to again congratulating all the awardees and telling them that the Department for Languages, Literatures, and Culture will always be your home. You're leaving us, but you're staying within our hearts. Congratulations and good luck for the next stage in your lives.